Welcome to today's video. This is a supplemental video for lesson number 1 for Gymnopedie, number 1 by Eric Satie. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be talking a little bit more about separating each hand when working with first the accompaniment, then the melody. Let's start with the accompaniment first. So, once again, to reiterate with what we're doing with the left hand, the first 4 measures will not be played with pedal. Please play it bare bones. First, choose your hand position, your fingering. 2 for G, and then 5 for D for the first 4 measures. The right hand will play the chords B, D, and F sharp. That's the first chord right there. And the second chord is A, C sharp, F sharp. Let's just practice playing each of these chords individually. Never mind worrying about the dynamic. Let's just go ahead and get used to playing them together. When you play this chord, make sure that you put the full weight of your arm into playing the chord. What that means is you want to drop into the chord in order to play all 3 notes as one, and not like a roll or an arpeggio. We want to play it as one. So shape it first over the notes. Make sure that your finger is touching each of the right notes, and then drop the weight of your arm into the hand. Play it a little loudly in order to get it right. Let's count just that first measure. 1, 2, 3. And so that's always going to be our rhythm there. 1, 2, 3. The next chord, D, played with finger number 5. And right hand's A, C sharp, and F sharp. Practice putting the full weight of your arm into that chord after shaping it. Let's go back and forth 2 times each. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now that should be practiced a few times in order to work on accuracy first. Once you have got it, and you're able to play it each time perfectly, at least like maybe 2 or 3 times, maybe up to 5 times, then we can work on the dynamics. As we can see, we're supposed to play this at pianissimo. So play it ever so lightly. It's sometimes a little difficult to play chords at a very light dynamic. And I want you to remember that you're putting the full weight of the arm into this chord, but not too much that it bangs the notes too loudly, but just ever so carefully. Continue to work on playing them all together. It is possible to do this. Okay. Now I did mention that the left hand bass notes should be non legato. We want to make it a very tight non legato. Not with... So did you hear how much space was in between those 2 notes? That should not be the way we perform this. It should be a very, very tight non legato. For example, almost legato, but not quite. You do still sense that space. Okay, let's go ahead and practice the first 4 measures together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, when you play the first 4 measures, it is supposed to establish the pulse and the feel of the entire piece. You should never change either getting slower or going faster, that pulse when we begin for the first 4 measures, because it's going to be quite consistent throughout this piece. Okay, the next step now is to start with measure number 5. Measure number 5, we are now going to be playing the bass chord with one hand, and that's going to require some jumps. So this one you will be using pedal. Okay, so before we start doing that, we just want to get the right notes under our fingers. I like to play the low note with 3 in the left hand, jumping over to this chord, 5, 3, and 1 for B, D, and F sharp. Make sure that you are able to play this B minor chord solidly. Once again, just like with the first 4 measures, play it loudly so that you get it right. Put the full weight of your arm down into playing that note, or these notes, all together as one. And not like a rolled chord or like that. They should all sound evenly and as one. Just like that. Okay? Now, you will hear some, muddiness because of the use of the pedal. But that's perfectly fine. And we welcome that. We want that to happen in this performance of Gymnopedie. Okay, so let's now go to measure number 6. We're playing a new chord. We have D. I like to also play it with my finger number 3. And then we're going to jump way up here to A, C sharp, and F sharp. Make sure that we get the right notes. So D, coming down together as one. Start by playing it loudly. Let's work on that a few times. Now, one thing you may have noticed that when I play the bass note, I don't have the pedal depressed before. I depress it after playing it. So that means I'm going to use this hand as my foot, because you cannot really see my pedal. But the rhythm is going to be note pedal. And it catches the note while still being pressed down. So, note pedal. And now you can let it go, and it allows it to sustain. Whereas if you didn't do it like that, you would not catch it. Okay, so remember, note pedal, jump up, play the chord. Let's go back and forth from measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. From there, please. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you also have noticed that I am releasing the pedal after every measure. And we need to do that because every measure has a different harmony. So, pedal, release. Now when you release for the next measure, you're going to release, press the note, and then come back down into the note. So it's a quick release and come back down. Let's start again from measures 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, this is pedal indication by the way. 1, 2, 3. Bass, chord, bass, chord, 3, bass, chord, 3, bass, chord, 3. And just like that. That's how we're going to be working those next 4 measures. Next, we have measures 9, 10, 11, and 12. We're not going to be doing the jumps because our right hand does come down here and we can play those chords again. Now, let's go ahead and address the melody. The melody, as we see in measure number 5, has its own dynamic indication. And we want to play this with a crescendo up to measure number 7, at beat 3 where it's the loudest, and then we decrescendo quickly for a 1.5 beats, or 1.5 measures. Let's just play the notes as we say them. Starting on beat number 2, measure number 5. 1, 2, 3, 1. F sharp, A, G, F sharp, C sharp, B, C sharp, D, A. Now my fingering is as follows. 3, 5, 4, 3, substitute to 4, and then 2, 1. Now this one here is open for interpretation, but I would like to substitute it quickly from 1, 4, 5, 2, or it could be also 1, and we're going to substitute from that 1 or 2 to 5, so that we can come down here for that measure, at measure 10, to play this F sharp, which will also substitute from 3 to 4, so that we can play the chords. Okay? So please write down that fingering once again. 3, 5, 4, 3, 4, 2, 1, 4, 5, 1, 5. And then from here you have 4, and 4 will always be on F sharp, even when you play the chords. Now for an explanation about how to play repeated notes and tied notes with the chords, please refer to my other video. Let's now put both of these together starting at measure number 5. We have our jumps, and we're going to do this very slowly, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, bass, and then bring our hand over to the chord. Once we're there, have our right hand ready for the melody. Bring them down together. Now go to the next measure. Release the pedal quickly. Bring it down when you're ready to play them together. Remember, always playing together, the chord with the note melody above it. And then, of course, we do our finger substitution there at F sharp, C sharp. Next measure. Bring your hand over to the chord and the note. When it's ready, bring it down. New measure. Now, your hand actually is pretty close to play that chord there if you want. It is entirely up to you if you want to play it while you're holding that A. But I'd like to allow my right hand to play it, left hand to play it one more time. And then we'll go on to this new part. And that's something you can watch in the other video. So I hope this was a little helpful for you to clarify some of the more difficult parts, especially tempo. When it comes to tempo, just practice very slowly with your metronome or according to your own tempo. Then build it up so that you can play it at a nice, comfortable tempo. And we'll see you at next lesson.